do that. Stop recording that.
And we are meeting remotely according to the governor's order and pursuant to the Illinois Public Meetings Act. And this meeting is being recorded. So I'd like to start with a roll call, please.
Is it Jerry?
Oh, geez, yeah, Jerry, can you do the roll? I'm sorry. The clerk is not going to be with us tonight.
Sure, I can do the roll. Trustee Clayton,
Here.
Trustee Dickon,
Here.
Trustee Eastman,
Here.
Trustee Haber, Trustee Hollander,
Here.
Trustee Jamerson,
Here.
President Ford.
Here,
We have a quorum.
thank you. Our first and probably most important order of business this evening is the presentation of the RRA Citizen of the Year Award. And Jill Kaplan is president of the Riverwoods Resident Association. I would like you to make that award for us, please.
Hello, everyone. On behalf of the Riverwoods Residents Association, I'd like to present the 2021 Citizen of the Year Award to Sheila Hollander, the ultimate volunteer who over the years has dedicated much time and effort towards making Riverwoods a better place to live. Sheila joined the Plan Committee in 2004 with her expertise in the field of landscape design. With the money raised from the annual plan sale, she spearheaded many beautifying projects around the village, especially at the Village Hall. Sheila started the cost share program with the village as well as the community garden, both to great success. She has also been an active member of the RPC for years. Sheila, for all that you've done, the RRA and the whole community would like to give you a big thank you.
Yay.
Thank you.
Well deserved.
I would like to read Riverwoods Residents Association Citizen of the Year Award 2021 presented to Sheila Hollander for many years dedicated volunteerism and outstanding contributions to the community, awarded December 2021.
Well, Sheila, not only did you get a plaque with your name on it, we've put you on a plaque that will be in Village Hall. And your name, and I know you can all see this well, your name is right here. So this is
Thank
going to go on
you.
the wall at Village Hall for all your hard work.
Thank you.
Truly appreciate it. Truly appreciate it.
Can we all say congratulations? Congratulations, Sheila, from Florida.
Congratulations.
Chime in.
Congratulations.
Well earned.
Yes.
Should be
thank you so
retroactive
much.
for about 20 years.
Thank you so very much.
Inspirational.
Riverwoods wouldn't be Riverwoods without people like you.
You're here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nice seeing everybody. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Oh, bailing so early, Irene.
I'm not gonna stay around for the meeting. I don't know if I'm allowed.
Party pooper.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Irene.
Thank you. Okay. Well, our first item of business then is the approval of the minutes of the meeting of December 7th. Do I hear a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
Have a second? Are there any?
Second.
Yes.
Trustee Dickon has seconded it. Are there any questions, comments, suggestions? Okay, hearing none, roll call please.
Trustee Clayton,
Aye.
Trustee Dickon,
Aye.
Trustee Eastman,
Aye.
Trustee Haber, Trustee Hollander,
Aye.
Trustee Jamerson.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, on to the approval of the bills. Do I hear?
I apologize for the interruption, but Russ Craley asked me to let everybody know he's having some technical difficulties and rebooting, so hopefully he'll be tuning in shortly.
Thank you. I hope, well, he missed the important part. Okay, approval of the bills. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second, please?
Second.
Are there any questions? Trustee Jamerson?
I'm sorry, I have several questions.
Okay.
Page 16 of 71 or page 2 of the bills.
Okay,
Number 122, Halloran and Yauch.
yeah,
It's showing building repairs and building cleaning. They're the ones that blow out the sprinkler or the water fountains lines for the winter so they don't freeze.
okay,
I'm guessing I don't know, building repairs might be the right category, but building cleaning is definitely not.
okay,
So that needs to be fixed.
okay.
On page 18, I asked this last time, and I'm not sure I got a good answer.
Could you-
360,
What page number for the council report?
it's
Right-hand
page
corner.
18. Page 18 of 71. Number 368, Village of Lincolnshire. I'm almost 100% certain, and Pat can, say yes or no, but I believe that's for water.
Oh,
So
right,
I
okay,
don't think
water,
it should be going to utilities. I think it should be coming out of the water fund.
okay. That could have been a last minute kind of thing.
Well, that's fine. I'm just.
Yeah,
these are
no,
the-
we'll have that recategorized. Thank you.
Page 19 of 71, and I don't think there's anything wrong with this. Do we have a safety deposit box? And if so, what's in it? The US Bank safety deposit box.
Fascinating. I'll check into that.
Does anybody know? Do we even know where the key is? That's a rhetorical question. You don't have to answer it. Page 20 of 71, and this Pat can chime in on this one too. Number 900, USIC locating. They do all the locating when people call Julie to locate utilities. It's under other professional services. Since we deal with them every month, I don't think we should, I think there should be a separate account for that. That's an accounting question. It just seems, and it's under the water fund, which is probably the right place for it, because I think, is that all they locate, Pat, is the water pipes, the water?
Correct.
Okay,
Actually, it can be split to the sewer because they also locate all the low pressure sewer.
okay. So anyways, that's all I have on that. So that's all the questions I have. Thank you for
Okay.
indulging me.
No, thank you for your questions. Thank you for your questions. I will make sure we get an answer for those things. Are there any other, trustee Hollander?
Yeah, there is a SSA expense that's charged back to Galt Hamilton. Don't the SSAs pay for their own expense? It's on it's on page 2 under Galt Hamilton. Third item
SSA.
under 111,
Oh, is it SSA 35?
35
streets
streets
engineer?
engineer expense. I
That's-
thought the SSAs paid for their own expenses.
So yeah, that is our category for those fees so that we know what to do with them. I don't know if that then so that's paying our bill. And then I don't know if elsewhere that's being then taken out of SSA 35 to reimburse the village.
I don't know that either.
Okay.
It got charged to all the same account that all the rest of the engineering expenses get charged to, not to the SSA. So it probably needs to be recategorized.
Okay,
And on that, we will be able, so we're just wrapping up the last few loose ends with all the street work this year. And with the final contractor's pay request, I give the proration of all of our fees to the various SSAs versus the village. So we'll have a bite at the apple, and I'll make clear that, you know, these are our project numbers that in the aggregate should be divvied up, you know, in the following way. So we'll get it straight.
So Pat, is that what the $21,000 invoice was for under 2021 streets engineer expense?
Correct. So once we close the contract, a good chunk of what the village has paid under 2021 roads will be distributed out to the participating SSAs.
So that'll be a memo that you send, and then they'll have to like reclassify those, that $21,000? Okay, got it.
And we do that out of necessity, just because it's not until the end of the project that we really know what the level of effort was for each of the SSAs and to fairly distribute those costs.
Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Dickon,
Aye.
trustee Eastman,
Aye.
trustee Hollander,
Aye.
trustee Jamerson,
Aye.
trustee Clayton,
Aye.
trustee Haber, absent. Motion passes.
What are we? Next on the agenda is the Treasurer and Finance Committee report. I see our treasurer is with us this evening. Hi, Hal.
Yes, thank you for the link. Kind of an abbreviated, the JP Morgan staff was tremendously busy with year-end reporting that they have. And I guess I put in my request for our summary a little bit later than normally. And I've got some benchmarks and things like that, but we're actually in a, I was not upset, but I was a little bit inquisitive. Usually Danielle and I talk a lot as things start to mature rather than letting it sit in cash, but we have accumulated a nice position of cash. And during that accumulation, we've seen a big jump in rates in terms of the investments that are on our agenda and that we can actually go into. She wants us to maybe think about going out to the 2 to 3 year mark at the longest. We don't have to go out further than that, but she said even the 1 to 2 year, we had a lot in the 1 year, and I guess it's going to prove good timing because those things are coming due now, and they were either at very low rates. But to give you an idea, we're our overall portfolio is still at a higher rate because we have some longer term things that haven't matured yet, are at 1.47 the overall yield. The cash availability is we're probably about 5 million in cash right now. So I don't want to jump into it all at once with doing the 5 million, but I'm sure that in the next probably 2 months, we'll put most of that to work on a continuing laddering out, with the extension being at 2.5 years on there. And the rates look like we might be able to maintain our current rate. Some of the things we bought in the past year are all, you know, half a percent, 1/4%, 0.6%. If we go out, they're anticipating, JP Morgan is that by the first quarter of next year, we should be able to get into 1.2, 1.4% yields, which still on a horizon look very small. But if you look at where we've come from and what we've been in the past few years, it's a pretty nice jump. So the average right now, our portfolio is yielding about an $80,000 return on cash for that. And I would expect that we would maintain that and increase it as we replace some of these older bonds at either equivalent rates or better than the ones that we bought recently. So I think we're in a good position, and the timing is going to work out, I think, fortuitously, that we didn't lock this up as they came due over the past 6 months or so.
Hal, do you think that we might be able to get a presentation from JP Morgan maybe in February or sometime, like a year-end review and a little bit of looking forward?
Yeah, I'll write to Danielle. I think she's in Arizona most of the time. I don't know how often she's here, but
Well, you know, John Norris is on and he's in Florida, or no, he's not in Florida now, but he's logged in from Florida. So I think we can.
oh,
probably
that part of it.
accommodate.
Yeah. I would think she would make her, plus their earlier time frame too. So yeah,
Ah, yeah.
I'll,
might work out well.
I will, I'll write her and see if she'll be a guest participant at a February. I'll ask her what month is best for her, January, February, or March, but
Yeah.
try to get her in the first quarter.
Yeah, that would be great. First quarter would be great.
Okay.
Figure that out. Thank you, Hal. Are there any questions for our treasurer? Okay, the budget is on the agenda separately. So Mike, is that all right to cover that separately? Under new
Yes,
business?
all I want to say is that you'll notice that you may have noticed that you don't have any financial statements for November. That's because of the workload on the finance department, and we will send those out as soon as we can get them produced. We're also still working through the BSNA contract and the Selden Fox engagement letter. Those things are moving along. And again, as they mature, we'll let you know. That's it.
Okay. Are there any questions for trustee Clayton? Okay, seeing none, we can move on to the Director of Community Services report.
Yes, I'm sorry. I apologize for being late. I've had no internet here for about an hour, but finally got back on. Just a couple things real quickly. We've got the letters are going out to everybody on the hazardous tree survey. Pat and his people have merged and stuffed envelopes and mailed stuff. So they should be getting those in a couple of days. And we'll start that process. And then I'm working right now on getting all the price sheets and making some changes to our fee schedule. So I'll have that ready for not the first, well, it won't be the first meeting, but probably the second meeting in January. So we can go over that and put that to bed for the new year. So those are the two things I got right now.
Trustee Hollander, you had a question?
Yeah, Russ, could you either send to the Board of Trustees a copy of a letter that you're going to be sending out so that if we get questions, we'll at least know what we're talking about?
It's for the hazardous tree.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll post it on the website or somewhere so we can reference it.
Mayor, didn't you give that to everybody, or did you not give that to everybody?
I did not. I will make sure you have a copy of that tomorrow.
Yeah, because the mayor wrote it up or did the final draft of it, so she has that copy. So yeah, we'll get it to you.
Okay, I will do that.
Okay, super. That's all I got.
Okay. Moving on, consultants reports, village attorney, please.
The only thing it's not really on the agenda to report is that we've been working away in the background on some technical issues with the people who are looking at the 37 acres. Don't have a lot to report. I'm trying to develop some approaches that they would find amenable for annexation, but we'll keep you posted. We'll be having some more conversations to see if that can come to fruition in the next part of the year.
Okay, are there any questions for our village attorney at this point? Okay, seeing none, village engineers report.
I do not have a report this evening, but Carolina Cho from my office does have our NPDS update.
Okay, let me see if I can share my screen here.
Oh, you probably can't. Just hang on
Okay.
a second here.
Okay,
Now you should be able to.
okay. Let's see if this works.
First thing you need to do is identify NPDES. I had to ask like twice about that one.
National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System. So that's included in this presentation, but there's a lot of acronyms like that that are thrown around, and the EPA likes to switch them up sometimes too, just to keep us on our toes. But I'm Carolina Cho, and I'm the wetland specialist at Gaywalt Hamilton Associates. And I also handle the MS4 program for all of our, I believe we have 16 communities that are included in that. Riverwoods obviously being one of them. And MS4 just stands for Municipal Separate Storm Sewer System. So just a overview of that. I think the graphic shows it pretty nicely. It's basically all the runoff from our impervious surfaces, our paved surfaces, our roofs, our driveways, etc. It all has to go somewhere. So it's filtered, or it's not really filtered, it's just tunneled through our stormwater systems and then is placed either in local creeks, ponds, different bodies of water, but is not treated. It's just really transported. So the MS4 program is in place to ensure that there's those waters are protected and not polluted. We don't want any sort of illicit discharge in there, such as oil, gas, chemical runoff, herbicides, etc. So the National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System, or NPDES, has a permit, the ILR 40 permit, that is required for communities to basically maintain these systems. And the systems themselves include outfalls, so where's the water exiting to, basins, and streams. There are 6 minimum control measures within that permit, and GHA specifically assists Riverwoods with the illicit discharge detection and elimination, or IDDE, and pollution prevention / good housekeeping for municipal operations. So going along with that, there's this permit, that the ILR 40 permit, is renewed every 5 years. And we are supposed to have a permit renewal this year, but the EPA has not yet released that new permit. So we're still technically under the 2016 version of that. And that will be the case until they release it, which hopefully will be in the next few months. They sent that permit out for public comment back in September. We submitted some comments on it and haven't heard anything since. So once that's completed and they send that out, they'll give us anywhere between hopefully 90 and 180 days to write a new stormwater management plan, or the SWMP. And that's something that Gaywalt handles for Riverwoods, and we'll rewrite that, and then we'll be covered for the next 5 years until they renew the permit once again. So that's kind of where that stands currently, but we got a glimpse of what will be changed in this new permit during the public comment period. So there's a few new metric requirements. They update things here or there. They want more specifics, or want you to track different things. So some of that includes the illicit discharge. They just want you to, list out and make sure that you have listed all of your outfalls, basins, and stream banks that are necessary, and that you're tracking those efficiently, and that you're maintaining all those things. So the main thing they're concerned about, again, is the illicit discharge, but do your outfalls have cracks? Are they missing grates? Maintenance things along those lines. Another is just the public education and outreach. So I think they want to try to get the public more involved and just let them know what exactly stormwater is and how it's polluted. So just putting up posters, just like this one here on the slide. It's just an example of a simple one that you can put, in public spaces for people to see, and also just doing presentations to different associations and allowing the public to comment on those things as well, just to include them in the process. Another in regards to pollution prevention. So inspections, they're asking for a little more detail on inspections, turbidity, the clarity of the water, what's in the water, and just a little more specificity on that. And then also for the municipal facility, etc., the control inventory, a list of municipally owned operated facilities, and then just a covered map of the MS4 area within your community. So basically, where are all your MS4 entities, just to make sure that you're tracking those things. And finally, just public involvement and participation. They want to ensure that communities are giving the public an opportunity to comment on things like the stormwater management plan. And just that they're, again, involved. So this is just kind of piggybacking on the other metric requirement with the public education, but just really ensuring that the public has an opportunity to be heard and be recognized. And that's, I think, where their main concern is with the new permit.
He was upset when he left because he couldn't find the story.
So hopefully that all made sense. It's a very brief overview. Didn't want to bore you all with too many details, but if you have any questions, I could do my best to answer them. I'm still learning a lot about the process myself. I just started at Gaywall about 5 months ago now. But this is just a general idea of what the process is and what the program is and kind of where we stand with that new permit. So if anyone has any questions.
Yes, Carolina, can I ask you to unshare your screen? So that way I
Yes.
can see everyone. I see that trustee Jamerson does have a question. So
Yeah.
please, yes.
So my question would be, is this basically stormwater that is routed through pipes, storm drains? So it's not
Yes.
stuff that's ending up in the ditch in front of my house, right? Because that's just overland? Or is it that count as well?
Most of them are, outfalls going into lakes, streams, rivers, etc.
Yeah.
I haven't seen one yet that goes into a ditch.
I'll jump in on that one, Carolina. So Rick, the EPA, way back when, we're in year 19 now of this program. And as you can imagine, in the initial year or two, there was a lot of effort by a lot of communities to exempt themselves from these requirements or minimize their applicability. And generally speaking, all communities that are in a census mapped urbanized area, which around here goes from Indianapolis to Milwaukee, there's really no getting around it. And they consider our roadside ditches, our natural swales, all of them are tributary, to either the Des Plaines or the West Fork. So try as we might, we could not carve out an exception for the small bit of storm sewer that Riverwoods has.
Okay, that was my question, because there's such a small bit of storm sewer, as you just said. So I guess I'm a little concerned about the picture of the leaves finding their way into the Des Plaines River, because that's all our ditches have in them right now are leaves. So
the leaves in the ditches cause their own headaches for us.
Rick, I don't think those are qualified. I've had to handle cases in relation to this, and you focus more on where the water ends up than where it started or how it gets there. So if it comes out of our jurisdiction or off of your land, if you were judged to be having a pollution source.
Okay.
So
All right.
we're there. I just don't know that leaves count.
Okay, well, okay, thanks.
Yeah, sorry. That picture was more so just to show an example of the storm grate than it was the leaves.
Yeah, because we do have leaves. Are there any other questions? I think this might be a good place for Henry. Did you want to talk about Saunders Road for a second? You're muted, Henry.
Sorry, that was unexpected. There's going to be a public hearing probably in the second week of February regarding the Saunders Road project that's going to be resurfaced. I don't have any specific information yet. I was planning on reporting on it when we do our committee reports next board meeting.
I misunderstood. I apologize
okay.
for that, but thank you for that. Are there any questions for the village engineer? Okay, moving on.
Thank you, Carolina.
Oh, yes, thank you. Thank you very much. The ecologist is not here. Plan Commission report. Chairman Brightcroft, do you have anything for us?
Very briefly, you have the Plan Commission report recommending approval of the application of 240 Saunders Road to remap the property to the office and research compatible district and expand the special uses to include medical offices and related health and wellness services and products, and to grant the new special use for 240 Saunders Road. And that's it. I know you're considering it later.
Are there any questions? Comments? Thank you. Zoning Board of Appeals did not meet. Police report, Chief, please.
I just have the police activity that is in your packets.
Any questions for the chief? Okay, seeing none. Information items and comments from the president. I've got two things to bring up. Next year, phase 2 of the Heritage Flatwood Center. We're going to be looking at that for sure. The paths need help. We have the signs now. We have trail tail signs, plus we have the ecological signs that we need to be putting in. So I think we're ready to really get a plan together and move forward on that. We're going to be exploring grants again for that matter. And I just wanted to let you know that that has not been overlooked and we are going to move forward on that in 2022. Trustee Jamerson, please. You're muted, Rick.
I'm sorry.
That's
I know there is a faction in Riverwoods, and it's not just South Riverwoods, that is interested in the play lot on that property, and they were going to be at the November meeting, but when it was turned into a Zoom meeting, they decided they would much rather be in person. So we may never see them if this.
Way things are going, yeah.
Hope not. Anyways, I just wanted to let you know that and let everybody else know that that's not been it hasn't fallen by the wayside.
Thank you for that. We're also going to do an update on the website at this point in time because Trustee Dickon has been working really, really hard on this. And it's a good group that has gotten together, but I thought it might be a nice time for her to give us a little update on what's going on and not wait for January because things are moving very quickly right about now. So I think I still have the screen share on. So
You do. I'm going to request to share my screen.
there you go. You should be able to do it now.
So
No, yes.
let's try this again. Apologies,
There you
I'm
go.
working with multiple screens, so I wasn't sure which one I'm actually sharing. Okay, well, Chris, things are moving very fast indeed, and some of you may have noticed that there was a premature website launch that took place last Friday. We had last Friday set as an aggressive deadline for getting content all posted onto the website. And one thing led to another, our rep left town and the website automatically published. So we've cleaned up the mess over the weekend, and Bruce Dano has been really helpful in this entire process. So just a big round of applause for Bruce just for that. He's been great. But I wanted to do a really, really quick just demo of the site. So this is what the new website actually looks like. The navigation has been simplified somewhat and just made a little bit more intuitive. The primary navigation consists of government with drop downs for elected officials, committees and commissions, the building department, public safety and municipal code, which links to the codifier. The residents and community tab currently has the new resident packet, the building department, and links to Woodlands. Now, Woodlands being a big enough topic, that area is accessible from multiple pages, from the residents and community, from the building department, from Woodlands alone. And on the bottom, we've got 4 links, which are just frequently visited areas. So I could do a quick little demo over here for agendas and minutes. So going forward, hopefully in the beginning of the year, every time there's a minutes available or an agenda for the Board of Trustees minutes, This is where it will get posted. It's really easy to sort and search by dates, by departments. If any boards or commissions have their own agendas or minutes, this is where all of that stuff would get placed, and you could categorize it by, the different commissions or boards. Okay. Now, going back to the homepage. Okay, the ordinances links to the codifier, which is updated by Bruce Hubert, and pay bills and citations. That currently links to the page that we use on the old website, but hopefully with the rollout of the new finance system, we should soon be able to pay the bills online. The permits and forms category is a massive category. This is a consolidation of any form, any application, any permit requests that we currently have and house at the Village Hall. All of those are going to be still work in progress, but all of those are going to be categorized. You'll be able to sort and search. So if you're looking for anything, any permits or paperwork related to woodlands, you'll be able to pull those up right from doing the filter. That's a very high level presentation, and I'm hoping that during the next committee meeting, we'll do a little bit of a deeper dive. And I've been in contact with many of you for clarifying some sections of the content. So thank you to everyone who's contributed.
Yes, if you could not share now.
Yep.
So in case, yes, Trustee Hollander.
Yeah, on the meetings and agenda, I'm not sure how often, but I'm sure it happens at least once a week where there's a public meeting announced in the paper, and we have to give notice a few days ahead of time, and then there's a meeting. Of course, no one goes except for the few people who were invited to the meeting. So I don't know, about 3 weeks ago, we met with folks from the 37 acres and talked to them, and it's an official meeting and it's noticed and everything. Are you adding those items to the official agendas and meetings section, or are they ignored?
Well, the only things that are currently added to the agendas and minutes sections, so it's agendas and minutes, not agendas and meetings, are literally agendas and minutes. However,
so my question then is to Bruce, what is our obligation if we're going to list meetings that are noticed to the public, that it has to be on the website, or can we ignore all those meetings that happen every week?
I wouldn't say we would ignore them. When villages have full-time staff devoted to the website, there are more stringent requirements for what they have to post. Since we're sort of learning our way around and still really have no dedicated personnel for this, what we're putting up is still more or less by convenience. So there's no requirement for Open Meeting Act purposes. There's no requirement that sort of those incidental committee meetings appear, within a certain time frame on the website. But as we move forward with this and get better at it, I'm sure we can try and make sure that all the meetings that we post on the Village Hall or end up in the village calendar. We have to really find somebody who's tasked with taking all that information and keeping the website up.
But
I wasn't suggesting that we do every meeting. I just want to know if we have to do it. So thank you.
And I also wanted to say that the website does have a separate capability dedicated specifically to meetings where it gets posted on the calendar. You could automatically get it into the village news. It could be sent out as an alert. So the feature's there. We have to figure out our own internal logistics of who's going to be doing the updating and, come up with some sort of guidelines as to how this gets done. But the functionality is there and it's very easy to use. So if we have to make an announcement that there's, a meeting scheduled tomorrow or even today, we could do it within minutes.
Well, I think there are some requirements. If we have a majority of the quorum, we have to post the meeting. But past that, I'm not certain that we have to post all of our meetings. I think that's true. Is that not, Attorney Huvart?
When we have a meeting, we have to post it and have an agenda. A meeting is a majority of a quorum.
Okay. So, for example, the website committee or group is not a postable meeting.
It's just a mayor and trustee.
It's where the mayor and trustees are involved. So, or and they are not involved in the website group, for example. Are there any other questions? Oh, trustee Clayton, please.
I don't know if this is the right time or if anybody else does this, but I have the village email forwarded to my personal email, so I only have to look in one place for email. And when we went through the process of changing the email addresses, the forwarding order got eliminated. So it has to be reestablished. So today I discovered a bunch of emails that were sitting in my Gmail account that had not been forwarded that I thought didn't exist because they weren't in my personal email. It's easy enough to reestablish it, but it's just to note, if you're doing that, it needs to be redone.
The changeover will take some time and getting used to, and then there are the, you know, the use of the village email. I think it would behoove us to review those rules as well at the same time. Are there any other questions? Again, this is an enormous task and it's just very complex, and there are some unintended consequences, as I think trustee Clayton found out, but I think as you've seen, I think the end product is really going to be well worth it and quite a step forward for what we've got now. Okay, if there are no other questions, then do we have any visitors wishing to address the board?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, the chief looks at the emails that come in. That's all. Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to new business, please. The first item is the approval of the service contract with Resource Environmental Solutions for 2022 Woodland Stewardship Program on the village properties for $31,237. This is part of the 10-year plan, and you've got the information in your packet. Are there any questions on this? Any need for more information? Do I see a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
Second? Okay, any other questions? Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Eastman,
Aye.
trustee Hollander,
Aye.
trustee Jamerson,
Aye.
trustee Clayton,
Aye.
trustee Dickon.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, next item is the approval of the 2022 budget. Trustee Clayton, please.
All right. In the cover memo that's in the packet, it's a little confusing because it says something is not in the packet when it actually is. And one of the reports was included twice. So let me just see if I could sort through this
All good.
for you. First of all, we have the cash report for each one of the funds. Then we have the summary of revenue and expenses would be the next thing to look at. And if you are interested in diving into the detail, you may do so with all the pages that follow after that. Everything has been built up from individual financial accounts. Some of the data comes from the financial workshop that we held in October, particularly things like the sewer and water fund forecasts on needed maintenance and so on and so forth. Just as a way of summary, the operating budget for the general fund indicates a surplus for next year in line with the forecast that we had in relation to the tax levy that we passed at the last meeting. Our revenue is up somewhat. Our expenditures are up a lot less. Some of the expenditures being up a little less is due to the fact that we reclassified snow plowing expense from the general fund into the MFT. When you look at the MFT data, you will see that it's not there, and that's an error, and we will correct that. Other than that, the general fund and the capital fund policies reflect the fund management policies that we talked about at the October workshop. We're going to discuss this at a future board meeting. So rather than go through all the details, for now, right now, the budget contemplates a $3 million transfer from the general fund to the capital fund. And that's in line with those policies that we described. And therefore, when you look at the net for the general fund, you'll see a big negative number. But if you look above that and you look at the net operating results, you'll see the $126,328 of surplus that we have. So with that, Nicole and Roger have put a lot of work into this, and I just wanted to publicly thank them for all the detail and all the work that went into it. And if you guys have any questions, I'm sure I can answer them, but hopefully Nicole will.
Trustee Jamerson.
All right. I have a question specifically involving the sewer fund. On page 51 of the packet, which is the summary of revenue and expenses. Under the sewer fund, it shows current year-to-date expenditures of $272,000, but it shows a projected cost for 21, which is 2 weeks. I'm not sure how old this data is, of $695,000. So I'm wondering what we're going to spend $400,000 on in the last 2 weeks of the year. Does Pat have an answer for, is he still with us?
I am. I have a suspicion. So best intentions notwithstanding, Lake County never got out this year to do the upgrade of the lift station at Meadow Lake. And I suspect we still have that sitting on the in the budget for this year. And that's probably where the bulk of that discrepancy lies. So we'll need to move that out and into hopefully we can get the county to do 2 next year and get us back on schedule.
So the reason that next year's budget, well, this year's budget only had $374,000 in it. So I'm not sure how much that lift station work was worth, but next year we've got $502,000 in expenditures, which also seems, once again, if there's just one lift station, I'm not sure someone needs to look at those numbers. If you don't mind, since I'm the sewer guy, kind of confused. And then if you go down to page 58 of the packet, which is where all the detail is on all this stuff, also under sewer expense, those numbers don't jive with the numbers that we just talked about. So I guess I'm confused. So I didn't look at all the rest of the numbers, so I don't know if everything else matches or not. That's not really my task, but since water and sewer fall underneath me, I did check those and they don't. There seems to be some inconsistencies in the numbers. So I don't know if someone can take a look at that. And I guess the other question is are you looking to pass this tonight, Mayor, the budget? And is it something we have to live with, or is this just a
Guideline it's a management tool and management guideline.
Okay, so it doesn't really make a lot of difference. if the numbers are
It
right.
matters, and it's not the appropriations ordinance. Let's put it that way.
Right, okay. Well,
I think that if I may
still
make,
I still like some answers on the sewer
Sure.
monies not matching, and I didn't even look at the water ones, but I'm hoping those are correct.
if I can make a suggestion, when we look at fund policies, maybe we can bring this up again and, close the loop on those questions about the sewer fund and then talk about a funding policy for the sewer fund. Does that make sense, Trustee Clayton?
Sure, just for Trustee Jamerson, we're planning on do that on the 21st of January. So one way or another, we will be back to you with the answers to your questions.
Great, thanks.
Thank you. Are there any other questions at this point? Any other comments? Okay, I think we're looking for a motion to approve the budget.
So moved.
Is there a second, please?
Second.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Trustee Hollander,
Aye.
trustee Jamerson,
Aye.
trustee Clayton,
Aye.
trustee Dickon,
Aye.
trustee Eastman.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Next on the agenda are the two ordinances that are focused on the 240 Sanders Road property. And if I could ask Attorney Huvard to discuss those, please.
We would be, yes, thank you. We'd be looking for waiver of first reading and second reading and adoption, although it's not critical, but there's not very much controversy here. This is the, I always get this wrong, Center for Holistic Medicine, located, thank you, Lori, 240 Saunders. The property has been in the village for many years in the single family district, and it was a house. When Dr. Gore acquired the property, he asked the village to, we annexed it, and he asked if it could be used for his medical office. So we created back in 1995 or 96 an exception in the single family district for a medical office use, a building that was only a medical office use and located on a major street, Milwaukee, Lake Cook, or Saunders, and adjoining a non-residential neighborhood. There are no other properties that would meet that description, but the wording of the exception was very narrow, and in a desire to possibly expand, join up with another individual who provides nutrition counseling and all kinds of wellness services, diet, menu planning, perhaps provide some juices and essences of oils and things like that. Everyone noticed that the existing exception really seemed to focus only on medical office use, maybe a bit too narrow. At the same time, if you are looking at our comprehensive plan, this area is recommended to be office compatible. It's adjacent to what was the King's Kennel. Last year, we rezoned that to office compatible as it was absorbed by Discover and will be used in the future possibly for parking. The other office compatible parcels are the Holiday Inn, the office building. These are all the properties at the periphery of the office campus. The idea of office compatible, for those of you who are newer to the board, was that the office campus is designed for huge tracts. The minimum tract size was 75 acres for Discover and 50 acres for what is now Wolters Kluwer. Then we found we had these odd parcels that came in next into the village to be developed, and they couldn't meet that standard. So we developed some time ago the office compatible district. So we have a couple of special uses in the office compatible district that allow us to sort of tailor it to some of these unusual situations. And just as we have in the B1 district, where we have a small parcel special use, we actually have a small parcel special use in the office compatible district. We have a hotel special use. That's a long way of saying that it's a district that's designed to be kind of a catch-all for what is in the periphery of the office campus district. It'll give us some flexibility. In the long run, there's no reason for this property to remain in the single family district. It's surrounded by office campus. And so in order to accommodate Dr. Gore's request, we scheduled the hearing. The Plan Commission recommendation was delivered. The report is here for you. And so this set of ordinances, the first one is a text amendment, which would create the little broader definition of not just a medical office building, solely a medical office building, but also some of the health and wellness services that are contemplated. And then the second ordinance would grant the special use for this particular property for that newly created special use on 240 Saunders.
Are there any questions? Comments? Is there a motion for first reading?
So moved.
You mean to waive first reading on this
Oh,
one?
oh,
Waive
oh, oh,
first
oh, waive
reading.
first reading. Okay, waive first reading. Okay, it's still the same. Okay. Is there a second?
Second,
Okay. Discussion, roll call, please.
Trustee Hollander,
Aye.
trustee Jamerson,
aye.
trustee Clayton,
Aye.
trustee Dickon,
Aye.
trustee Eastman.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, is there a motion for second reading and approval?
This is for an ordinance amending provisions of Article D of Chapter 5 of the Riverwood zoning ordinance concerning the office and research compatible district.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? Roll call?
Trustee Jamerson,
Aye.
trustee Clayton,
Aye.
trustee Dickon,
Aye.
trustee Eastman,
Aye.
trustee Hollander.
Aye.
Motion passes, but I don't have an ordinance number.
We'll get it.
Okay.
Okay, the second is for a motion to waive first reading on an ordinance classifying 240 Saunders Road to the Office and Research Compatible District and granting a special use for a health center special use in the Village of Riverwoods.
So moved.
Motion. Okay, second
Second.
discussion, roll call.
Trustee Clayton,
Aye.
trustee Dickon,
Aye.
trustee Eastman,
Aye.
trustee Hollander,
Aye.
trustee Jamerson.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, do I have a motion for second reading and approval?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Dickon,
Aye.
trustee Eastman,
Aye.
trustee Hollander,
Aye.
trustee Jamerson,
Aye.
trustee Clayton.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, last in new business, a resolution approving the purchase of a vacant strip of land adjoining South Robinwood Lane. Attorney Hurgard, would you like to say a few words?
This is an interesting journey. For reasons I can't remember, and I don't know if Pat Glenn can remember, there is a strip of land that runs north-south parallel to South Robinwood Lane. It is not owned by any of the lots on South Robinwood Lane. It's somehow got separated one way or another. We'd have to go back and look, but it's been around for years.
Separated
And when
for-
we put a water main into South Robinwood, rather than go under the road, we went into this parcel. We had permission of the owner. In fact, we had an agreement of the owner of the strip, which was a tax buyer of some sort. And we signed agreements, and then in one of the few instances of my life that this has happened, the title company lost the deed, didn't record it. And we found out later because there was another tax sale. Title company paid up its policy. We had trouble locating the new tax buyers, and sort of in and out of the years, it was sort of difficult to get a hold of anybody. We just wanted to go through and complete the purchase. Finally, we got a hold of the tax buyer, and he confessed that they had, he told me, acquired the strip in a poker game. This was all well and good. And then the village sent a
That's so
notice to
old time.
the village sent a notice to them asking them about removing a couple of hazardous trees. And then it wasn't so fun anymore. So anyway, to make a long story short, they reached out to us and said, would you please take this off our hands? I've told them we would pay them $10 or nominal consideration. We've pulled down a title report to make sure title is clean. And I'm just looking for the assent of the board to acquire this strip after many years when we've wanted to and somehow couldn't. And basically for nominal consideration from the current owners.
I can, if the board's interested in, if I share my screen, I can show you a map.
You can
I don't
share,
know
your-
that they-
you can, go ahead.
So hopefully we're all
Oh,
looking
gosh.
at this. So this is Robinwood Lane, south of Duffy, and it's this skinny little strip of land that for reasons we'll never know, wound up not being part of any of the adjacent properties.
It's
Great place for a water main.
it's a great place for a water main. So I would recommend to the board that we approve the resolution. It gives us the authority to arrange all of the details with the two owners who are the tax buyers and acquire this for the village. And the other thing I would point out is that knowing the PIN number for this parcel for some time, it's included in the South Robinwood SSA, but it's an exempt parcel. It has a 0 benefit factor.
Trustee Jamerson, you had a question.
Yeah, how many hazardous trees are on this piece of property we're gonna now own for $10 that we're gonna have to cut down?
There's quite a few, actually.
Okay.
Trustee Dickon, did you have a question?
Pat, could you share your screen with a map, please, one more time? I guess I guess I was asking for, I wanted to ask for a clarification of whether the road would be actually included with this little piece, strip.
No.
No, okay.
No, this is a bit inaccurate. The pavement is all on the adjacent piece of property.
Okay, so the village would not be responsible for repaving or snow plowing the
No.
street. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Good thoughts. Okay, do I hear a motion for approval of a resolution to purchase this guy's poker winnings?
A vacant strip of land
I'm sorry.
adjoining South Robinwood Lane.
We don't need to waive first reading because it's just a
No,
resolution.
it's just a resolution.
Yeah, I just asked for approval.
I will move that.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Come on, okay. All right, is there any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Dickon,
Aye.
trustee Eastman,
Aye.
trustee Hollander,
Aye.
trustee Jamerson,
Aye.
trustee Clayton.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, moving on to old business. This is the liquor license. An ordinance establishing the Class L liquor licenses in the Village of Riverwoods.
Well, this hasn't changed since it was last before you. The question before us was whether the limitation on the display area for alcohol should be something other than 10% of the total square footage of the building. I think trustee Haber had asked whether we should make it 10% of the floor area or something like that. Russ, I don't know if you're still, yes, you are still here with us. So we looked at the floor plan for the Thorntons. We looked at the floor plans for some of the other buildings. And we decided that this was going to be pretty hard because there are coolers, there are walk-in coolers. We couldn't quite figure out it's just, and I think the effort at doing it, we couldn't figure out if it would produce a result that merited all the effort when it was very simple to look at the exterior perimeter of the building. But Russ, maybe you have a different thought. Anyway, we just thought maybe leave it at what it was. We didn't think it would be excessive in the context of what we saw on the floor plan for Thornton's.
No, and if you look at the two things that would be the two gas stations, the new one coming in and the one that exists, we take the perimeter and you take 10%. And we've had the meeting with them last week with Thornton's. They're not even gonna come close to that really. It's because the coolers are walk-in coolers, but they stored other things than alcohol in those coolers. It's just not alcohol. They have sodas and juices and everything else in there. When you walk into the store, the whole right side of the store is a coffee bar, soup, sandwiches, hot dogs, all kinds of stuff. You get right down to the floor area. I would say, I think the guy said it was like 4% or something like that of what they were using. And so I'd say, if we go with the 10%, it just makes it simple on us. We can walk in, we can take a quick look. We know what the outside of dimensions of the building are, and we can calculate real quickly what they're using and how much they have, and we can keep track of it a lot quicker that way.
The other thing I would say is that this is a condition in a liquor license, and the board can adjust these conditions in the future. This isn't like granting someone a zoning variance where there's detrimental reliance, we can change these conditions in the future if we find there's a problem and they're not working.
Is there any other discussion? Okay, do I hear a motion to establish an ordinance, pass an ordinance establishing the Class L liquor licenses in the Village of Riverwoods?
So
Make a
moved.
motion that we waive
this is
first reading.
just a
Is this first or
question.
second
Oh.
reading?
Is it first read?
No, you had a first reading last time.
We had a first reading already, so this is, I think, a motion for second reading and adoption.
Okay, second reading and approval. I was close. I was close. Okay. Anybody, I mean,
So who made the motion?
Henry, did you make the motion?
Yes.
I'll second it.
Okay, okay. Sorry, by the time I get this, it's gonna be over. Roll call, please.
Trustee Eastman,
Aye.
trustee Hollander,
Aye.
trustee Jamerson,
Aye.
trustee Clayton,
Aye.
trustee Dickon.
Aye.
Motion passes.
And there is no reason to go into an executive session. Is there anyone on the board that wishes to make any comments on anything that you've heard tonight or anything that you've got thinking of in the future? Trustee Clayton, please.
I just want to thank Jerry for the excellent job of rotating the voting order. Thank you.
Excellent. Good comment. Good comment. On point. Well, everyone, happy holidays and happy new year.
This-
Motion to adjourn.
Oh, sorry, wait, time.
One more. Just
Trustee
something to think
Hollander.
of. Yeah, just something to think about. The other board members might want to put some thought into this. At some point in time, we're going to be probably meeting in person for the board meetings. And with Chicago, Cook County now putting requirements for vaccination proof to attend certain activities. And I recognize that village board meetings was not among their list, but restaurants and clubs and things like that. I'd like us to at least consider that in order to have an in-person meeting that our vaccinations are for those coming into the village hall. I don't know if we can do it. I don't know if all the board feels strongly about this, but I at least would like us to consider it, especially since a significant part of our membership does fit into the category of being over 55. And I just think it's the right policy for us to promote.
I would be happy to poll the board individually and check that out. And I will ask our attorney to look at what we might be able to do in that vein. I know we're all concerned about public health. We're concerned about, everyone else's health, respecting everybody in their particular situations. So let us look into that, Henry. Thank you very much for that, because I know at some point the order, I can't see in the foreseeable future, but who knows?
I will predict, purely based on when we looked at group homes, that there will be a significant pushback. And if we do choose to go that route, we should be ready for that.
Madam Mayor, if
Yes,
I can comment from what we had before and what the governor and the state had put out, and council, you can tell me if it's been updated, but I'm still getting lots and lots of things from the state. I think you could segregate those who had vaccination proof from those who do not and have them attend in a separate meeting room so as not to expose those on the board and who were already vaccinated. Again, I would make that suggestion as a way to make sure you can let them in the building. So you're not denying them access, but you're still able to take safety precautions. And I think, Henry, that would meet your concern,
Yes.
I think, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think that's a great
Good idea.
addition. Yeah.
Well, that's why, one of the reasons why the conference room is finished the way it is. They can see and hear everything in there. So, it wasn't exactly what we were thinking of at the time, but we'll take it.
Well, it also prevents us from being masked. If everybody in the room is fully vaccinated, the mask requirement tends to go away. And, that's personal preference, but.
okay, we'll take a look at that. And as I said, we'll do an individual poll. So there's, you can feel free to express personal opinion at that point too. Are there any other comments? Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion from trustee Jamerson. I'm looking for a second.
Second,
Okay, any discussion on that point? Roll call, please.
Trustee Hollander,
Aye.
trustee Jamerson,
Aye.
trustee Clayton,
aye.
trustee Dickon,
Aye.
trustee Eastman.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Again,
Night,
happy
everyone.
holidays.
Happy
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 New Year.
holidays,
Happy New
everybody.
Year.
Holidays,
Happy New
everyone.
Year.
Happy New Year.
Glenn,
Pat Glenn, safe
Holidays,
travels.
everybody have a safe holiday.
Pat, do you want me to call you now or tomorrow?
Oh, you can call me now.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Goodbye.
Hi, council.